Lisa vs Lena, powder blush vs cream blush. Lisa vs Lena, peach blush vs pink blush. Lisa vs Lena, matte blush vs shimmery blush. Lisa vs Lena, liquid blush vs stick blush. Lisa vs Lena, high-end blush vs drugstore blush. Lisa vs Lena, warm tone blush vs cool tone blush. Lisa vs Lena, natural finish vs bold finish. Lisa vs Lena, buildable blush vs one swipe blush. Lisa vs Lena, long-lasting vs quick-fading blush. Lisa vs Lena, subtle blush vs dramatic blush. Lisa vs Lena, everyday blush vs party blush. Lisa vs Lena, blush with glitter vs blush without glitter. Lisa vs Lena, pigmented blush vs soft blush. Lisa vs Lena, creamy vs powdery texture. Lisa vs Lena, compact blush vs loose blush. Lisa vs Lena, dewy blush vs matte blush. Lisa vs Lena, beginner-friendly vs pro-level blush. Lisa vs Lena, blush for oily skin vs blush for dry skin. Lisa vs Lena, subtle gradient vs solid color blush. Lisa vs Lena, longwear blush vs quick blend blush. Lisa vs Lena, rosy pink vs coral orange. Lisa vs Lena, mauve blush vs berry blush. Lisa vs Lena, nude blush vs bright blush. Lisa vs Lena, soft baby pink vs hot pink. Lisa vs Lena, brown-toned blush vs red-toned blush. Lisa vs Lena, terracotta vs apricot. Lisa vs Lena, golden glow blush vs silver glow blush. Lisa vs Lena, cool pink vs warm peach. Lisa vs Lena, neutral blush vs vibrant blush. Lisa vs Lena, light skin blush vs medium skin blush. Lisa vs Lena, deep skin blush vs universal shade. Lisa vs Lena, pastel blush vs bold neon blush. Lisa vs Lena, rosy flush vs sun-kissed blush. Lisa vs Lena, sweet blush look vs model blush look. Lisa vs Lena, sunset blush vs natural blush. Lisa vs Lena, bridal blush vs glam blush. Lisa vs Lena, cute Korean blush vs Western contour blush. Lisa vs Lena, blush with highlighter vs blush without highlighter. Lisa vs Lena, monochrome pink vs multi-tone blush. Lisa vs Lena, soft glam blush vs IG glam blush. Lisa vs Lena, blush on cheeks vs blush across nose. Lisa vs Lena, high blush placement vs low blush placement. Lisa vs Lena, sunburn blush look vs soft flush. Lisa vs Lena, drunk blush look vs sweet doll look. Lisa vs Lena, blush plus bronzer combo vs blush alone. Lisa vs Lena, full face glam vs no makeup makeup. Lisa vs Lena, blending with brush vs blending with sponge. Lisa vs Lena, blush over foundation vs blush under foundation. Lisa vs Lena, layered blush vs simple blush. Lisa vs Lena, soft ombre blush vs sharp pigmented blush. Lisa vs Lena, minimalist makeup vs full glam look. Lisa vs Lena, blush on bare skin vs blush on primed skin. Lisa vs Lena, rounded blush look vs lifted blush look. Lisa vs Lena, youthful blush vs mature blush. Lisa vs Lena, vintage blush style vs modern blush style. Lisa vs Lena, blush palette vs single blush. Lisa vs Lena, luxury brand blush vs local brand blush. Lisa vs Lena, compact with mirror vs no mirror compact. Lisa vs Lena, blush with fragrance vs no fragrance blush. Lisa vs Lena, travel-friendly blush vs heavy packaging. Lisa vs Lena, affordable blush stick vs expensive blush stick. Lisa vs Lena, velvet finish vs glossy finish blush. Lisa vs Lena, glowy cosmetics vs matte cosmetics. Lisa vs Lena, multi-use blush vs only for cheeks blush. Lisa vs Lena, mini size vs full size blush. Lisa vs Lena, cute aesthetic packaging vs luxury packaging. Lisa vs Lena, vegan blush vs non-vegan blush. Lisa vs Lena, hypoallergenic vs regular blush. Lisa vs Lena, limited edition vs OG shade. Lisa vs Lena, powder duo vs single blush shade. Lisa vs Lena, pigmented formula vs buildable formula. Lisa vs Lena, TikTok viral blush vs underrated blush. Lisa vs Lena, aesthetic blush flat lay vs glam flat lay. Lisa vs Lena, blush swatch challenge. Lisa vs Lena, before and after blush, who wins?